Hello and welcome back to Stories, the Path of Destinies. Let's see if we can continue.
As Lupino vanished into the wilds of the Nexus, Renato vaguely remembered Lupino had a baby daughter, didn't he? And he told her mother he was going out to get some Easter eggs, and he'd never come back. But Renato was relieved not to carry the core anymore. He was already feeling better. And who knows, maybe this time Lupino would get it right. And if Renato could take the outpost, he'd have access to all the Empire's communications in the sector. Right?
Right. Oh, it's been weeks since I last played, so I have to remember how to do this. Ow.
This was definitely better than pulling yourself up in a bucket.
Mm-hmm. More ore. No skill points available.
I wonder what happens if I go that way.
We'll find out. Running, sprinting.
Look, it's not personal, but your mother wears army boots on her ears.
Perfect.
He could sense the jewel's power. He had a feeling they were going to be great friends. Renato caught his breath. His joints still hurt, but he couldn't feel the poison in his system anymore.
That's
He let
good.
the armature slip out of his hands to save his friend Lupino. Of course he had to let Lupino take the core. The rebellion needed every man doing his duty. And the rabbit would be no good taking on an Imperial outpost, right?
Right. Something tells me this was the hard decision.
The rebellion had once tried to take the Imperial outpost. The rebel ships were shot down before they could even see it. But maybe a single fox could sneak through their defenses.
What good are snub fighters against something like that?
Where was a workbench when you needed one? Oh, never mind.
Okay. I need ore for the Void Blade. And that's it. Attack speed increases attack by 20%. 5% sword energy back, not bad. Oh. I guess I've maxed out all my crystals.
Renato took the outpost with a song in his heart. Soon, he was stuffing his sack with key messages from and to the fleet. Then the far speaker toad chortled a new message. The observatory had been sacked by ravens. Lapino and all the scientists had been taken to the mountains. Why? Why had he trusted Lapino again? And now the Empire had the core. Renato hailed the rebel base to warn them. But their far speaker didn't crouch back. Was the base under attack too?
Probably. Well, both of these are new. Had to rescue Lapino again. Trusting Lapino with the core was a foolish idea. Now he and the core were in enemy hands. Maybe he should rescue his friend after all. None of this would have happened if he had taken the core to scientists himself.
Who knew what was going on at the base? But he knew what the ravens would do to Lapino if Renato didn't rescue him fast. Well, actually, he wasn't exactly sure. It kind of depended on whether Lapino was a traitor or not. Renato just couldn't bring himself to believe that. What are old friends for, if not to need rescuing every few days? Renato felt a twinge of doubt. Should he have gone to the base? No. Logically, wherever they'd taken Lapino was probably where they took the core, right? Oh,
that makes sense.
Lapino have just for once not got himself captured? Was that too much to ask? He shouldn't be too hard on the rabbit. No, he meant well, and he was insanely brave. You had to admire that.
Okay, that's a one-way.
Sweet. You could use this material to craft a spork.
Yeah.
Or a sword.
Spork, spork, spork. Okay. This one is not coming out well. Ow. Yeah, let's heal up.
No skateboarding, the sign said.
Hmm. I think I need, what, 100 or so? Doing pretty well on that.
Where were they holding Lapino anyway? There was no sign of him or the ravens who'd captured him. Just rocks and snow and the usual scouts. No sign of the core either. Was this a wild rabbit chase? Oh, trust Lapino to screw up even getting captured.
Of course.
But what was this rebellion for anyway? Well, Lapino was a useless goof. But he was a friend. If friends didn't matter anymore, what was the point of winning this war? I pick you!
Perfect.
bard when you needed one.
Yeah.
There was an engraving. Maximum capacity, 130 people.
Well, if you can fit 130 people on that, I'd be impressed. Eleven more ore.
The rebellion would soon be engaging the Imperial fleet in a desperate battle. All Reynardo had done was save a friend. It didn't feel as good as he'd hoped.
Yeah.
At the end of the mountain path, Reynardo came to a clearing. There was a campfire, raven feathers, and... Lupino's lucky deck of cards. Well, that wasn't good. Reynardo hoped Lupino would not try to cheat his captors at cards. Ravens were much better than weasels at counting, and they had a very poor sense of humor. Then, he saw what he had hoped never to see. Fresh scraps of rabbit fur. Ragged and bloody, ravens would eat anything.
By Grabthar's hammer!
Reynardo screamed at the sky.
I will avenge you!
The rebels had assembled their fleet. Ahead, clouds were dark with Imperial ships. If he could reach the Emperor before the rest of the rebels did, maybe he could settle this without too much bloodshed. He set sail, and the Farfarer shot forward.
A Galaxy Quest reference? Rest in peace, Alan Rickman.
Poor Lupino had never been a great warrior. The mad rabbit was good for a lark and a laugh. And a pint. The thought of ravens eating him made Reynardo furious. The way they were eating up the land. The way the Emperor was eating up the people with his new, bloodthirsty ways.
Yeah.
He would make them all pay.
Avenge Lupino.
Reynardo had a feeling that was the back door to something. But what?
Moving faster would be good.
This was way better than being able to shrink down to the size of an ant. What was that all about, anyway?
I mean, that would be useful.
He had given up every objective to save his friend. He had given up the armature, the core, the gem, and even Zenobia. He loved Lupino, he realized. And now the rabbit was gone.
Oh.
A hero looks out for his friends, even when they're gone. He would send Lupino an honor guard of ravens to serve him in the halls of the Valiant. He would avenge him. Nothing gets your blood pumping like a bit of killing. Go away. Good thing Renato didn't have vertigo.
And how are we gonna die this time?
Finally, he reached the Emperor's ship. And there was Lupino, surrounded by ravens. He was alive. They'd eaten some other rabbit. "I'll save you!" he shouted with joy and flung himself at the ravens. "Oh, you shouldn't have," said Lupino when the last raven was down. Renato threw his arms around his best friend. "I had to come. I love you, man. You really, really shouldn't have," said Lupino. And Renato felt a rather sharp pain in his back.
Yep.
As he collapsed, Lupino took the dagger out of Renado's back and wiped it off on Renado's sleeve. Why? You always have to be the hero. Brave Renato, epic Renato, super sexy Renato, and I'm sick of it. As Renato died, all he could think was, damn it, fooled again. He should go back to some of the choices he'd faced before. Maybe there were new paths that had opened up, like those doors he was opening up all over the map that took him to new treasures and around his enemies. And he hadn't learned anything new this time. He'd done the same thing twice, yet expected a different outcome.
Grabthar's Hammer. Hero who plays friendship above all else.
The book's pages fluttered to the beginning once again. Faster than before? And he fell. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing.
Yep.
Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lupino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Okay. We're gonna have to try to get closer to our ex.
Ah, Lupino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lupino always wiggled out of trouble, given time. But he was out of time. Lupino's frantic message said that the Ravens were going to kill him for being a rebel spy. And that he had a clever plan. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse. Or so Lupino had told him over the far speaker anyway.
Alrighty.
Lupino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens?
Alright.
Now you could slice the wings off a fly.
Hansa
in the
would
air.
like these. Forge all swords and
Not
make
that
them
he
as
would.
best you can.
It's sort of mean, really.
So workbenches, aside from changing gems, are now not super useful.
Death to traitors! Caught the Ravens.
Perfect.
That was odd. Ronaldo had been here, at this exact place, at this exact time. But this time, there were so many more ravens.
Actually, I don't need to
Ronaldo
go
looked
around
around the empty
busting up
village
things.
and reflected. The Sky Ripper had turned out to be far too dangerous to be used. Time to turn to what he knew best. How could you convince a firewall you're its friend?
Hacker Fox.
Lapino must be waiting at the end of the cemetery. Ronaldo wanted badly to confront him for his treachery. But what good would that do him?
Between us, if you don't mind.
Lapino would betray him. But now Ronaldo knew that. What would Lapino do if he knew that Lapino was going to betray him? Well, he'd concoct some crazy scheme, wouldn't he? Use Lapino's betrayal against him and it would blow up in his face. Maybe he was overthinking this. Well, that would be a first.
Okay, yep, this is familiar.
Hey! Did you guys ever learn to swing dance? Oh, well, too late. Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, see, this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Yep. So let's go for Zenobia.
Wasn't just the Emperor's daughter, of course. She'd been Renato's best friend in Sword Fu school. And you're still mad for her, the rabbit reminded him. They'd been close. She'd told him things no one else knew. But she'd never told him who she really was.
She knows all the Emperor's plans, chuckled the master spy.
She won't give them up easily.
She'll tell the interrogators, all right,
said Lapino. Taking her would change the game, all right. The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty.
Mm-hmm. This is when I find out how to unlock the true ending involves, like, getting all of the crystals and a bajillion ores and forge something massive.
You rush.
Perfect. My apologies. I need a quick mute button. Ooh. Sorry.
This was the nice part of town, but the ravens had been through here. They like to take shiny things home to their nests.
Are they ravens or magpies? Well, both are corvids.
Cool. Wish I could do that.
So because the enemies don't really change, it's like the further you go, the easier the game gets because you unlock stuff. Which, I mean, I'm not going to complain about.
This couldn't be good for global warming.
No, probably not. Look for fabulous treasures and 25 epic chests.
Why was Lupino urging him to capture Zenobia? Obviously it was a trap. But you never knew how Lupino thought. Sometimes his plans were so convoluted they did the exact opposite to what Lupino wanted. Yeah, there must be some way to play on that, Renato thought. Hey, why don't you guys fight in groups? Oh, I know. Because there's no I in team.
Of course.
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renato hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renato.
Go for Lupino's geese, net, fire, toad, watermelon plan.
Oh, this is gonna be fun, said Lupino, as he ran to go set up his marvelous plan.
Nice.
This chest smelled kind of funky. He hoped he didn't get it in his clothes.
Oh. Yeah, we've read that one before. Very imperfect. Large watermelon.
Renato felt dubious about the whole plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But against all odds, Peppino's idiotic plan worked. Zenobia's ravens ran off after the geese, the net dropped, and Renato jumped out of the watermelon and put his sword to Zenobia's throat.
Renato, she said. Are those new scars? They look good on you. You never returned my velvet jacket. It was my favorite. You look stupid in velvet. Oh, what does an imperial princess know about style? Oh, get a room, you two, said Lapino.
But the fleet was coming on fast, so they put Zenobia on the Farfarer and took her east, over the Nexus.
She'd vanished from Swordfu School, from his life, without even saying goodbye. Without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter. Ah, Lapino was right, Renato thought reluctantly. She knows things. She recognized his look. You're taking me to the interrogators, aren't you? She said, wide-eyed. And then she jumped, with horror. Renato saw Zenobia plummeting. Then he saw the Nexus below them. Cats always land on their feet. Ah, she'll head for the Imperial outpost, yelled Lapino. You have to catch her. Cats
Hello,
can
I
run
must be
faster,
going.
but foxes can run longer. If he ran, he could head her off before she reached her minions at the outpost. Well, he did love a good chase.
Well, it's a bit early, but I don't think I'll get to the next save point before then. So when we come back, I guess we're chasing after Zenobia. Have a good one, folks.